Hello boys and girls, my name is Amanda and I'm dressed up as a character from the wonderful story of the Nutcracker. My character comes from the land of the sweets. What's your favorite sweet? My favorite sweet is chocolate. My dancer, my Spanish dancer, her favorite sweet is chocolate too. Now that we've met my Spanish character, why don't we read the story of the Nutcracker? Let's begin. The Nutcracker by Susan Jeffers. It was Christmas Eve at the Stanzenblum's house. Marie and her little brother Fritz were listening at the ballroom door, waiting for the party to begin. Everyone was dancing when the last guest arrived. "Godfather!" cried Marie, rushing to greet him. Herr Drosselmeyer was not only Marie's godfather, but he was also a famous toy maker. He could make toys that moved and clocks that called the hours as sweetly as a nightingale. What's your favorite toy? My favorite toy are the dolls I used to play with. Herr Drosselmeyer brought presents for the children. He gave Fritz a box of toy soldiers. For Marie, there were 2 dolls, Harlequin and Columbine, who danced with each other. "I have another present for you, Marie," said Herr Drosselmeyer, handing her a wooden nutcracker. "I want you to take good care of him." There we see the Nutcracker. He's our prince. "Not fair," shouted Fritz. "She has 3 presents." He grabbed the Nutcracker from Marie and tossed him in the air. The Nutcracker crashed the floor and broke his head. "So what?" jeered Fritz. "It was an ugly thing." Herr Drosselmeyer bound Nutcracker's head with his handkerchief. Tenderly, Marie took Nutcracker into her arms. She put him underneath the Christmas tree. Outside in the street, the carriages waited. After a flurry of goodbyes, Fritz and Marie were sent up to bed. "But my poor Nutcracker is all alone," thought Marie. Tiptoeing back downstairs, holding Nutcracker close, she soon fell asleep. Herr Drosselmeyer slipped into the room and, raising his hand, cast a bit of magic. Boing, 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 the grandfather clock struck midnight. Marie stirred and rubbed her eyes. The Christmas tree was growing. Around her came a scampering of mice. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Do you see all the mice? That's a lot of mice. They were gathering like an army to attack. Their ruler was the Mouse King, who had 7 heads and 7 crowns. Marie held her Nutcracker and ran as fast as she could. Do we see the Rat King? The Mouse King with all his crowns and all his heads? It's very scary. Nutcracker leapt out of Marie's arms and held his sword at the ready. Fritz's toy soldiers took their positions in battle. Do you see the Nutcracker? Swords flashed and cannons boomed, 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 squeak, squeak. Nutcracker fought bravely, but the Mouse King was stronger. "No," cried Marie, "you shall not hurt him." She pulled off her slipper and threw it with all her might at the Mouse King. Do you see her slipper? With a hiss, the Mouse King sank to the floor. Gathering up their king, the mice dragged him away. From the shadows, Herr Drosselmeyer saw Marie's bravery. He raised his hand, and the Nutcracker was transformed into a handsome prince. The prince bowed to Marie and placed the Mouse King's sparkling crown upon her head. "Come," said the prince. They walked through falling snowflakes to a waiting boat that flew them through the night. Are these snowflakes? Maybe when we see it snowing outside, they're actually dancers dancing across the sky. "Welcome to my kingdom," said the prince. "But where are we?" "You are in the land of the sweets. That's where I'm from." He said the sugar plum fairy coming through the gates of the kingdom. "Welcome home, dear prince. We have a party to celebrate your return." Do you see the sugar plum fairy? She's one of my really good friends. The Sugar Plum Fairy led the Prince and Marie to the seat of honor. Coffee, chocolate, that's me. Chinese tea, marzipan, and Mother Ginger and her children danced for them. Do we see everything here? Do we see all the pretty dancers? We see the Prince and Marie. We see the Sugar Plum Fairy. We see all of the dancers. Waltz of the Flowers, Spanish, that's me. We see Mother Ginger and all her children, the angels. We see so many dancers. Pink roses waltzed. At last, the Sugar Plum Fairy danced. She seemed lighter than air. Do you see her jump? In dance, we call this a leap, and she has beautiful pointed toes. Too soon, it was time to leave. As they flew homeward, Marie asked the Prince, "Will I ever see you again?" The Prince replied, "One day, your courage and kind heart will be rewarded. Do not forget me." Years passed, and the Prince and Marie became engaged. After their wedding, they rode to the land of the sweets in a coach trimmed in gold, drawn by 4 silver horses. To this day, there are those who say Marie is the queen of a wondrous fairyland that only those who believe can see. And the end. We have our beautiful dancer on the back. Thank you for reading this book with me. Now that we've read the book, it's time to get ready to dance. But we can't just dance, we have to warm up. So everyone stand up, make sure you have lots of room. Let's reach way up to the sky, reach way up, and then let's reach way down to our toes. Way down to our toes. Now in ballet, we have first position. So let's put our heels together and turn our toes out to the side. Our hands are on our hips. And bend our knees and straighten our knees. This move is called a plie. Let's do it 3 times. Count with me. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Now let's practice pointing our toes. So take one foot, put it out in front of you, and take your ankle and point it, your toes and point it. This is called a tendu. Should we do 3 tendus? 1, 2, 3. Should we do it with the other foot now? Same thing. Let's point our toes. 1, 2, 3. Very good. You all look like beautiful and handsome dancers. Shall we dance now? I think it's time for me to do my special Spanish dance. Boys and girls, thank you so much for reading this book with me and for dancing with me. At the end of most ballet classes, what we typically do is we have this move called a reverence. Reverence is a fancy way of saying we want to thank our teacher and thank each other for dancing with one another. So ladies and my ballerinas, we will step out to the side and we will bend our knees and we will curtsy. All my gentlemen out there, we will put one hand in front and one behind and we will bow to one another. And follow me and we'll finish this class dancing together. Ready? Ladies, step out, curtsy. Gentlemen, step to your side, bow. Arms up to fifth position and an oval above your head. Reach up and down. Arm in front of you. Step out to the other side, curtsy or bow. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun dancing with you boys and girls and reading the Nutcracker. I hope you all have a very blessed and a very safe Christmas. Happy holidays!